out there in YouTube land. Rob the History Smith here with a new video for you today. I think you guys are going to like this, especially you boomers out there. I know you are going to love this video. It's a popular rifle, but before we get to the video, I'd just like to remind everybody, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's been a great week for subscribers. I want to thank every new subscriber and every old subscriber. So thank you very much. Likes help, subscribes better. It's kind of like the Republican Party. You don't gotta like me, but you gotta subscribe to me. Alright guys, so let's get on. What am I talking about today? I'm talking about the venerable M1 carbine from World War II. I almost said one by mistake, but it's not World War I, it's World War II. I got actually two versions to show you today. This one here, I'm on the verge of getting properly restored to the original World War II configuration. The other one I have, I should have still the lock on it, but here's the other one here. They're virtually identical, and I'll go over some of the differences between a World War II original condition, well, original state, and a Vietnam era and later. So let's take a look at the M1 carbine as a rifle to begin with. So it's kind of an interesting rifle. It started off as semi-automatic. It has a lot in common. That's not a live round, by the way. It has a lot in common with the M1 Garand on the outside, but that's the extent of it. It seems to function the same way, but actually functions completely differently. I'll get onto that in a little bit, and we'll take the other one apart, and I'll show you some of the, hopefully be able to show you some of the differences. But let's take a look at it. So the key to it has your standard front sight. This one has the original World War II sight on it. Sorry guys, should have practiced that a bit more. So there's the World War II style sight. It flips back and forth. So I'll show you the second sight when we get to that. This one here, it has a round bolt. That's one part I still have to replace, is this round bolt right here. Right there. Sorry guys, looking at the camera, not the gun. So that's the round bolt. The original ones that would have been dished out in this area here, so they would drop and be flat. That was a weight saving feature. There was a big emphasis in making this rifle light and small and handy. So I'm going to hold that open. Sorry guys, hands in the way again. There's a little button right here you can press down, and it just put a little plunger down there. There's no automatic hold open on these. Magazines that do have a hold open on them, but it's only while the magazine's in the gun. So as useful as it is, I would say not very much, but it's still nice to have. This one has the old style crossbar safety, something like you'd see on a shotgun. They replaced that later because people were getting it confused with the magazine release, which is here. Just dropped the magazine. See, dummy, little rubber. So that's an original issue magazine here. It's a little sticky and greasy for some reason, but surplus tends to be sticky and greasy all the time. I'm going to get this out of the way. This is a reproduction magazine. In Canada, we're allowed only 5 rounds in our semi-automatic rifles, so it doesn't really matter which one you have. Authenticity, obviously you want the original, but function, they're the same. There's no difference in Canada between a 20 round, 10 round, and a 15 round. They're all set to 5 in a semi-automatic. There's these little rubber things you come across them pretty often. Some people call that mold. I don't really know if it's mold or not. It doesn't taste like mold, but it's something to look up. People complain. I don't really care. They're just kind of a fun little accessory to have. Does it make a difference? No. If you're in a war zone, maybe. Keeps mud out of your magazine, or keeps mud out of your magazine, and eventually out of your rifle. So here is the standard thing that people like to do, is put these magazine pouches on the butt. I like it. What I've done on mine is I've removed the button on the back here, so it doesn't scratch up the stock. I mean, what's the point of adding an accessory? It's going to damage the rifle, especially when it's something old like this. You can't exactly find new parts for this. Well, you can, but you don't necessarily want them. There's another one of those rubbers. And there's a few more shoved down in there. So that's an original one. Keep an eye, watch out, guys, when you buy these. Thing about a lot of these rifles, a lot of these parts are reproduced, and reproduction is fine. But when you sell it as original, you're committing fraud. So watch out, guys. So let's go from. I know Garantham does tip the butt, but I'm going to go with butt to tip. So metal butt plate. I do have the oiler. I just misplaced it temporarily, but there should be an oil tube that goes in here. So I actually found this. I was saying the oiling tube. That's it. Nothing fancy. You put oil in there, and then you daub it on as necessary. And then you almost cross-thread it. These will have maker marks, some of them, not all of them. Again, look it up. I don't recall offhand who made this one. But what it does, it sits there in that cutout in the stock, and then the loop, it holds the sling in place. Interesting idea. I prefer, you know, a little trapdoor in the butt or something like that. This just seems like, if I was a soldier, I'd lose that in probably 20 minutes. No joke. So I thought you wanted to see that. And that would hold your strap as well. The strap would come out this side, come around to your front there. And there's your other sling swivel. So I was saying this has been upgraded slightly downgrade it really. So I was talking about that sight, the flip sight there. That's a replacement. The push button, that's a replacement on the safety. There's a couple different versions of this top bar here. Later ones will have 4 holes. So I'll show you one of those. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. Does not mean it's non-World War II. It just means it's a later production. These guys were started being produced in 1942 and pretty much continued to the end of the war. They made over 6 million of them. So 6 million is no small number. So we're going to the front band swivel here. This is a post-war swivel. You see this pretty common. I'm not faking this. I just didn't want to buy the original sling swivel because I was saying there's a lot of reproduced parts for it. This in particular is highly, highly, highly reproduced. And again, like I said, nothing's wrong with reproduction if you know you're buying a reproduction. But if you're spending $100, sorry, I just turned that off. I'm blinding myself. If you're spending $100 on a sling swivel, people will try to fake it. This one's been cut down. I'll show you the original. So it would have had a bayonet lug on it, like so. So that's the bayonet lug there. And you can see that this little piece is one solid piece of metal that's been riveted to the back here. So you get in here and cut that out if you want. And it makes it look a little bit more original. And it doesn't cost you anything other than chopping up a part that's really not worth much anyways. You can see a discoloration here on this barrel. That would have been where that part was sitting for the majority of this rifle's life, if not its entire life. This one was manufactured in 1943, and the only real way to kind of date these things, and it's not a solve all problem. Sorry, 1944. This one. There's the manufacturer's mark up here on the barrel, and keep in mind these are not going to be made by one company. You will never find an all matching M1 carbine. If you do, someone went to a lot of trouble to make it all matching. Does it help the value? I'm sure to that 1 or 2 people out there who really cares, it does. But you don't have a large group of people saying, hey, I want an all matching M1 carbine. Just because most people know that's not the way it's supposed to be. So it doesn't really add any value in most cases. That's a generalization, but go by that rule. Making everything part matching, spending all that money, it's like an antique car. Everybody wants the original car, but everyone knows to expect a little bit, a little compromise. Okay, so moving on here, we're going to take a close-up look. There's markings up there. They're a little hard to read, but this one is inland. So this one is made by General Motors. I know they did have the GM lamp division involved, the same ones that were doing the Liberator and the grease gun. So there's your marking, 30 cal M1 carbine. Manufacturing markings for the receiver are in the back here. This is also an inland, and you have the serial number. Serial numbers. A lot of the parts are going to be marked with simple 2 letters. such as the M, and on and on and on. When you take this thing apart, you'll find more and more markings. These are made by so many different companies. Some of the cooler ones, in my opinion, I mean, everyone likes a Winchester. Winchester's a nice classic firearm. So Winchester makes them. Inland is going to be the most common one, General Motors, car company. I think some of the more interesting ones would be IBM. And we all know IBM, International Business Machines. Kind of makes sense. The stuff they were making back then was not computers. It was mechanical. Well, it was computers, but it was mechanical computers. So that would be one manufacturer. Rockola was another cool one. They do the jukeboxes. Everything's falling. Good thing they're war weapons. Pause while I take this off. Moving on, we're going to take a look at a potentially very late war conversion, but chances are 99% this was done just after World War I ended, 1945 to 1947, I would say. Particularly this one, and I'll tell you why in another video. I'll do another short video on an interesting version of these that's not really an official version. So we'll take a look at some of these features we were talking about. This time we'll go in the reverse direction. So there's that bayonet lug I was talking about. It's completely attached to this front lug. The thing that kind of sucks about this is you can't get the bayonet lug off without taking your entire front sight off. So I think that's a major issue when it comes to maintenance. Well, I won't say major issue, a pain in the butt issue. Obviously it wasn't that big of a deal. They thought it was a better option to have a bayonet than nothing. I don't know. I mean, I like bayonets, but I just like them because of zombie attacks. I figure if you're going to fight a zombie, you at least want a bayonet. This one also has that round bolt I was talking about up here. But the big difference on this, the two big differences, going to be the safety has now been turned to a rotating safety. So you can't accidentally push the magazine release. This one, I believe, is also inland. But the biggest improvement you're going to find on these is the rear sight. The rear sight is now adjustable for windage left and right. There's no elevation on this one. Well, there's not much. There is a bit of an elevation. You can slide it back. Ouch! You can slide it back for your elevation. But that's not a fine adjustment. That's just coarse adjustments for range. Stock is going to be virtually identical. Like, there are some differences in stock. This one's got a serial number on it. I'll check. I don't think they match 525636539, 539, so it's close-ish. Not a big deal. The stocks would not have been numbered, and I'll get into another video to show you why. Oh, this stock is rough. Rough. Let's take a close look up. So there's that sight I was talking about. So this would be your windage adjustment here. And then your elevation, you just... There you go. Slides. Again, I guess with adrenaline it's probably a lot easier, but if it was me, I'd probably rip the whole thing off by mistake. I'm not saying it's weak, I'm just saying when you got adrenaline, you're stronger than you realize, I think. Back to the hold open device we were talking about earlier. You can see the little divot there. Push down. And holds open. Pull back. Slide shut. Take a look at the bayonet lug. The bayonet lug has a little spring there. Has a tensioner here. They're both important, but don't ever tighten these things. That's I think one big mistake you can make. Sling swivel, just like on the other one, because it's the same part essentially. So this is also inland. I believe the receiver is also inland, but you can kind of see with this sight here, it's a little hard to. You can't really read the instruction. You can't really read the manufacturer. You got to get a light in there and do all these sort of weird things, but you can make it out. You just can't make it out easily. Not a big deal when it comes to military stuff, because the serial number is important. That's all that really matters. Same markings on the front there. Also, an inland barrel. This one was 1943. I got confused. The other one was 44. This is 43. That's pretty common to what you're going to find on these. Let's have a look at the bayonet, shall we? So I was saying this was designed by primarily 3 people. Or at least they're the ones that get the credit. I wouldn't say they designed it. The 3 people were... Oh, did you see me cheat? Look, I have a phone. Because I can only remember one, and I'm sure most people know one of them. Fred Hummerston, William C. Romer, and David Marshall Williams, Carbine Williams. It was essentially designed in 1941. A lot of people say it had a 3-month design period. I don't buy that. This is like most rifles. It's an evolution, not a revolution. Meaning it started off by Winchester in a much more clunky one. I don't have any access to that. It's a pretty rare rifle. I'm pretty sure you can find it on Forgotten Weapons, so check that out. I'm sure if you're watching this, you know Forgotten Weapons. An interesting part, it cost about $45 to manufacture in World War II, which is about $790 in today's money. U.S., they'll go for quite a bit more than that, but in Canada, that's what they're selling for right now, about $790 Canadian. I don't know what the U.S. dollar was compared to Canada, but it gives you an idea. We're still paying the original price, which is kind of amazing. And it's a great rifle, or carbine, for $790 in Canada. So I was saying 6 million of them. It weighs about 5.2 pounds, 2.4 kilos, 5.8 loaded, 2.6 kilos. So gives you an idea there. It's 35.6 inches, 90 millimeters. The barrel length is 17.75. Which is an interesting thing. Most Americans know about the rules when it comes to SBRs, and the fact that this was originally classified accidentally in the U.S. by an SBR. Short-barreled rifle, tax stamp, $250 extra if you want to own this in the U.S. at the time. U.S. realized that was a mistake. There were 6 million of these produced, so there's a lot of them out there in private hands. So they changed the rules, so I believe it's... I want to say 18 inches in the U.S. I can't remember the exact barrel length before it becomes SBR. I think it's 18. Canada, we're stupid. I'm just straight up stupid. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say it. Because we just copy the U.S. every single time in our firearm laws. And even now we're copying the California and other states, New York and stuff like that. So we don't come up with our own ideas when it comes to firearms regulations. We just copy the U.S. But we didn't correct that. So in Canada, this would be considered a handgun, a restricted rifle. And there's not a lot of those left. Right now, our Trudeau government's messing around with classifications. But this is still legal to own in Canada, but you have to treat it like a handgun. So you cannot take this hunting. You can't take this anywhere but the range, and it has to be. It came in rather late. Came in before D-Day. And that was its first use by paratroopers and stuff like that. I'm sure there were some officers who were using it. Most people know also it was not designed as a main battle rifle. It was designed for a backup kind of emergency weapon, just better than a handgun, but smaller than a rifle. It was the essential idea for truck drivers, machine gunners, and so forth. So here's the bayonet. It looks very similar to the M1. It also looks very similar to the one for the M16. I'm no expert on bayonets. I don't know if this is an M4 or an M7. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could help you. Maybe the bayonet can help me, but it's kind of hard to read. I don't know, but this is made by the U.S. A lot of the ones you'll find are made in Italy right now. And they're not fakes. Just that's where the surplus rifles are coming out of Europe. And bayonets don't last forever, so you got to replace them. So, yeah, your little... There you go, locked in place. All ready for often zombies and dangerous wild rabbits. To me, the thing that makes this rifle really important isn't so much the rifle itself. I love it. It's lightweight, it's easy carry, it's maneuverable. It's everything you kind of want in a gun. A lot of people say it's underpowered. I don't have a 30-06 round on hand. But I do have the dummy rounds. So there's your dummy round for the 30 carbine. And compare it to a 9mm, you can see there's quite a bit difference. It's definitely not as fat as the 9mm. The bullet's not as heavy. But what you're trading in from a 9mm, which is, you know, a balance of velocity and kinetic energy in the bullet, you're getting a higher rate of fire on this. It really is like a magnum round out of a revolver or a handgun, which is why I believe, and I'm talking about the military terms, I'm not talking about political terms, of an assault rifle being the M2 in particular, which is just an upgraded version of this into full auto. I think the M2 you could I would classify as an assault rifle. So you have a mid-caliber round. It's bigger than a bullet, or bigger than a handgun round, which is 9mm parabellum. It's smaller than a 30-06, a full rifle round, and it has a higher energy rating than any handgun round you're going to find. This guy here, you know, I can't remember the statistics, but it's, I think, around 100 yards. This bullet is still carrying the same kinetic energy as a .357 Magnum at the muzzle. So this is not a small round. Why these stories of people popping rounds into them and them not dropping? I'm sure there's going to be instances of that. I mean, adrenaline makes you do funny things. Is it the wool uniforms from the officers and soldiers of the Japanese army? I don't buy that. I actually own some of those original pieces, and they're heavy, and they will slow one of these down, possibly slow it down enough that you're not going to drop the guy immediately with one shot, but you're going to get a bullet through that thing, and we all know you're going to fall eventually if you get shot. You might be able to keep on going, so there's a fair argument to be made there, but reality is most time when something happens the unexpected, like you fire off a round, somebody doesn't drop, you miss. To the scabbard, I don't know when this scabbard was produced, but it could be close to period to the rifle. I know it's definitely not World War II vintage, because I believe it's an Italian made bayonet, so this would have been about 1950, somewhere around there. All right, let's have a look at the inside of this guy, shall we? I'm going to pause and prepare for that. Just wanted to say, I took a look, it actually does tell you right here, U.S. M8A1 is what it's listed on the bayonet. So that's the type of bayonet it is. Okay, moving on to disassembly. First thing I want to do is loosen the barrel band screw, like so. Voila. And I want a punch. I need a punch. Punchy punch. I know I said I prepared, but apparently I lied. So, punch in the spring, slide that forward. Like I said, it's captured. It won't come off the rifle. You have to take that all off. And I've done that. It's not fun. You don't want to do that more than once. So there we go. Top cover. Handguard. Top handguard. Top cover. Whatever you guys want to call it. Moving to the back here, without destroying my work area. It will come out as so. So, there. Field strip, pretty much, is the extent of what you have to do. The tang on the back is a separate part. It will also have different markings. This one has a W on it. The other one has nothing legible on it. W, I believe, stands for Winchester. You gotta look it up, guys. I'm not gonna spend an hour telling you all the different markings and what they mean, because they all mean something a little bit different for every manufacturer. And sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. I don't know if IBM parts are marked IBM or how it works. Well, I don't know offhand, but it's easy to look up. There's a huge collector's market out there for this kind of stuff. So how is this different than the M1 Garand? Well, one obvious difference is magazines, like so, and not clips. Sticky. I need to clean this magazine. So that's one big difference. Assembly, disassembly is completely different. The firing mechanism, way different. It's not even the same trigger grouping. It's nothing similar there. What are the big difference? And I would say the biggest myth is Carbine Williams designing this rifle. I'm sorry, he did not design this rifle, guys. He had very little to do with it. He was a class act a-hole. Complete criminal. Not that all criminals are assholes. Sorry, I said assholes. Not that all criminals are a-holes. Trying to keep it clean. But he was an a-hole. He was already in prison. I can't remember what for, if it was manslaughter or something like that. He got released during World War II because they needed manpower for the industrial war machine, essentially. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I just mean that's the way it worked. And when he started working with the other two designers on this gun here, it didn't go well. He was a jerk, and he started fights constantly. And it got to a point where he even threatened the lives of some of the other guys he was working with. So why does he get the credit? I think it's a bit of Americana. You guys really like your outlaw, your cowboy kind of guys. I know that sounds condescending, and I don't mean it condescending. I just mean that's what you guys like. They're your celebrities. In Canada, our celebrities, I don't know what we do in our curl. I have no idea what we do in Canada for celebrities. We send them down there because we don't want Justin Biebers in this country. So what did he develop? That's the question, right? What he developed was the short recoil piston system. And when I say develop, I should just say stole, because that's kind of what he did. He just stole the idea. I'm trying to get this off here. It's been a while since I've disassembled this. If I look like I don't know what I'm doing, because at this point I kind of forget what I'm doing. I'm going to pause and then get this to the right position, because something's hanging up on here. Alright, to further disassemble. So where I was getting hung up, I lost my thingy. I'll have to use this. There's a disassembly point right here. This is not a disassembly point, this is. So you take the handle back, and it will pop out of that track, theoretically. So it's now out of the track. I can rotate the bolt free. I will take off the trigger group. Take off the trigger group is actually quite easy. You just need a little hammer. You don't even need the hammer because the pin just fell out for me. There was a pin right here. When it's in the frame, it's held securely, so that part just came off all on its own. So, trigger group comes off. You can tell it's very simple compared to the M1 Carbine. Or the M1 Garand. Sorry guys, they all have the same name. Safety down. Safety somewhere else. There we go. Safety back. Lower the hammer. I'm not going to disassemble this. There's not a whole lot to see. So now that that's out, I can hopefully get the bolt out. Or just drop it right back into where it came from, and then I'm back to ground zero. Bolt forward. Rotate the bolt free. And the trick about this, you can kind of hopefully see there. I don't know if you guys saw. The bolt will tip. And I don't know if there's a smooth way to do that, but there you go. Firing pin, free floating, it's not sprung. You can see the fire. Hopefully you can see the firing pin moving. Let me get this close-up camera back here. Firing pin moving. Ejector. Extractor. Sorry guys. Ejector. Extractor. Oh, it's a push button kind of assist. And there's your rotating locking lugs here, and that's the one that interfaces in with this arm. Now if I pull this back, you can see right in here, that is your short stroke piston right there. So this only moves a tiny bit. It's hard to actuate with the gun. Okay. Okay. You're going to see this, and it's going to be short, and right now it's in the furthest back position. So this would be pushing this whole mechanism backwards, and that's in the forward position. So when everything is forward and locked up, and that little thing pops out and hits it. So Carbine Williams did this. That's all he did. That's all he did. I know there's fans out there that will say he did more than that, but realistically, that's all he's been given credit for in the academic sense. And he just took that from the SVT-40, the Russian SVT-40. He didn't come up with the idea. He just took it straight from there. Is that a bad thing? No, that's not a bad thing. But did he invent it? No, he didn't invent it. Just keep that in mind. There's a lot of myths about the M1 carbine that it doesn't really earn, in my opinion. That's one of them. The stopping power being too weak, that's another one I think is a bit of a myth. I don't believe that. We went over that earlier. It's just a nice, simple design. It has a lot of old features, so this part here, we're saying that it's very similar in the way it operates to the M1 Garand, which it is. And the M1 Garand is no massive change or evolution or no revolution. Again, an evolution. This is really nothing more than a bolt-action rifle. If you really look at it, straight pull bolt-action rifle that's being pushed by a tiny piston. The M1 Garand taps the gas all the way close to the muzzle, and some of the earlier ones right in front of the muzzle. Gas trap design. Very rare. It worked. There was a lot of belief that if you drill holes for gas ports, they get eroded, it becomes unreliable, overgasses the gun, beats the gun up, gun breaks. We know now that that's not as big of an issue as we used to believe. So that's another myth. But those are really the top three. Carbine Williams did not design it. Carbine Williams is not is part of this part one. He's not a hero. It's not a revolutionary design. It's definitely not underpowered, and it's not dangerous either. All right, I'm gonna end there, guys. I'm gonna show you my ugly face one more time. Well, I talk you out. So that's the M1 carbine from World War I to Korea. And I'm going to be doing another short video. I'm actually going to follow it up doing movie magic. I'm going to film it right now, but not release it just yet. So you guys are going to have to watch this one first. And stay tuned. On Monday, you'll be seeing the second one, which is just a slight evolution of this. Where did these guns... there's a squirrel attacking my shed. Okay, squirrel is gone. I was saying... the next video we'll talk a little bit about what happened to these things after World War II, because a lot of them were produced all the way straight up to the end. No one really knew when World War II was going to end, so they manufactured a lot. It's very similar to what happened in World War I. There's no scheduled end to a war. So what happened to the 6 million of these? Tune in to find out. And please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, guys. If you like this, YouTube doesn't really talk... doesn't advertise firearm channels that well. I can't figure out the mechanics of it. Some videos do incredibly well. Other videos get 3 views. I know content matters. You guys seem to like, the gritty bones of this. You don't so much care about the intricate history of a lot of these things. So maybe it has something to do with it. But please tell your friends if you guys like this. Show it to them, on your phone at work. And hopefully I'll get some more subscribers. I really need to get to that 500 mark. You guys can see for yourself where I'm at. Like I said, thank you everybody for subscribing. So please stay tuned for more. And have a great day.